Primo Lopez, 11-0, 9 KOs. The best to do it right now in the game is to take over. Shout out to BN Boxing News.
Hey, Israil Madrimov, I've been welterweight champion of the world. Everybody go follow BN Boxing News.
Andy Cruz versus Antonio Moran fight. I think that was a good one, man. Let's start off there. Andy Cruz had a hell of a task ahead of him last night, trying to defeat Antonio Moran. Um, he was trying to knock him out quicker than Devin Haney knocked him out, and actually got the job done. But I saw a lot of laps in his defense where Antonio Moran was landing on him at will. Um, Andy Cruz take a lot of punishment that could end up coming back to bite him in the future, taking all that type of punishment during these bouts. But Antonio Moran gave him a nice fight, though. I think that he was a very durable opponent, and he was a great step-up fight for Andy Cruz. Um, Andy Cruz showed us a lot out there, and he was able to get the job done. I forgot what round he ended up knocking out. I think it was the seventh round. Around the seventh round, he ended up knocking out Antonio Moran, and actually got the job done. But great job for Andy Cruz. Great job. I mean, it was nice. The next fight that we was talking about, man, that was on this particular Riyadh season undercard was David Morel versus Kalasvik. I'm not sure this guy's name. David Morel hadn't been past the fourth round, and last night was a hell of a task for him. Kalasvik, if I'm saying his name correctly, did not come to lay it down also, man. He came last night to fight. Although I think that the fight was totally decided to David Morel. I think Klosvik was able to withstand a lot of David Morel's power. See, when you go up to a higher weight class, you realize these guys, your power may not transcend like a lower weight class. And David Morel, for some reason, to a lot of fans, seemed like he's beatable. Um, Although he got the job done and he won by a unanimous decision, he still didn't look like that machine out there that he usually looked like, destroying his fighters in the early rounds. So it's a lot more to see from this guy. I mean, in his first step-up fight to 175 pound division, I think personally he did a good job, but like I said, it's not a fan favorite. You know, they want to see knockouts, and he didn't deliver that last night. But all in all, he got the job done and got that UD. The next fight, man. The next fight. I mean, it's some nice fights, man. I just want to touch up on all of them, man. Ain't nothing really big, but let me just touch up on the next one. Um, the next fight I saw was yeah, this was a crazy one. Heavyweight in the heavyweight division, Jared Anderson versus Martin Bacoli. Um, Martin Bacoli, man, stopped Jared Anderson. I mean, was hitting him with them George Foreman punches, bro. Those punches didn't look like it had much sauce, bro. But shit, Jared Anderson was just dropping, bro. I mean, dropped Jared Anderson 3 times, bro, in the fight. And after the third time, the ref had enough and called the bout. I'm not sure. I forgot what round it was that he stopped Jared Anderson. I think around the fifth round. But we have to understand Jared Anderson's only 24 years old. He got a lot more left in him, bro. hopefully, hopefully he comes back and he shows us that he can handle these big old guys in the heavyweight division. I mean, these big 300 pounders, bro, they didn't look good on him, bro. It didn't look like he can withstand somebody that big leaning on him and just dropping them dogs on him. We knew it would be a time where he would have to fight those big heavyweights, and we wanted to see how he would hold up to that. And yesterday was the ultimate task. Um, it's been said that he should have waited maybe a couple more fights. He wasn't ready for this Martin McCauley fight, but Turkey Al Sheik called, man. He answered. And there you have it. You know, I think he was fought this guy too soon. He wasn't ready for it. Some said maybe he was because he trained with Tyson Fury for Deontay Wilder fight, but obviously he wasn't, man. He was dropping like a fly every time Martin McCauley landed those punches on him, man. And like I said, it didn't even look like they had much sauce on him. And that boy was dropping like a fly. But it is what it is, man. Let me move on to the next fight. The next fight was Henry Ruiz versus another big baby Miller, another one, Jermell Miller. Man, both guys looked horrible to me, bro, personally. Andy Ruiz looked tired. I mean, he had a 2-year layoff, and you could see it in that fight. He wasn't as quick as he usually is. In spots, he had a little freaking flurries here and there. But as far as being the Andy Ruiz that we're used to seeing, I didn't see yesterday. Jermell Miller looked like a fresher guy, the guy with the fresher legs, but he wasn't really throwing much. He was just walking into Andy Ruiz and just pushing him, but he wasn't really throwing much at all. If Jermell Miller if he wants to get these fights or these particular fights, he has to let his hands go. Personally, I love fights, man, but it was a boring ass fight to me. I didn't like it at all, man. I didn't like it at all. And who did I think won this fight? I think Jermell Miller did do enough to win this fight because Andy Ruiz didn't do much at all. So if I had to give to anyone, I would say that Jermell Miller landed the cleaner shots. He done the most work out there, although he didn't do much at all. I would have gave it to Jermell Miller. I do think that this fight should have went the way of Jermell Miller. It shouldn't have been a draw. It should not have been a draw. But y'all know how boxing is. It ain't the first, and it won't be the last. Somebody gets robbed. And the next fight, man, I want to talk about, man, is talk about Israil Cruz versus Jose Venezuela. Hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fight. And this particular fight was changing of the guards, man. It was changing of the guards. Jose Venezuela outclassed the hell out of Israil Cruz. Israil Cruz that was just coming in, landing those wild shots, trying to put that pressure on Jose Venezuela, also known as Rayo. That shit didn't work with Rayo. Rayo was boxing the shit out of him, was sticking and moving, was using his range, getting out of the way of those wild shots. Wasn't allowing Israil Cruz, Pitbull Cruz, to pin him on the ropes. He was boxing him, bro. He was fighting. I mean, many people was wondering, would he be able to keep this up for 12 rounds? And guess what? He did. He was able to keep it up for 12 rounds, able to avoid those huge shots thrown by Israil Cruz, and he got the nod, man. He got the nod. That's exactly what we wanted him to get, and he got it, man. I mean, I think he done enough to get it, and he got it. So, like I said, great fight. Great fight. Can't knock him, though, bro. That man did enough to win this particular fight. He did do enough to win this particular fight. I got to give it to him. He was able to snatch Isaac Cruz WBA World Super Lightweight Championship belt at the 140 weight, at the 140-pound division. Now we have a new champion named Rayo. We have a new champion named Rayo. That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. And let me switch on over to the main event. Y'all know how it goes. The main event here was Terence Bud Crawford versus Israil Madrimov. It was for the WBA World Super Welterweight Championship. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Superweight Championship. Israel Madrimov won that in March of this year. And Terence Crawford and Israil Madrimov went toe-to-toe, man. I think this fight right here was one of those fights that was very difficult for Terence Crawford because his guy Madrimov didn't just stand in front of his face. He was doing some type of irky jerky shit the entire fight, and basically waiting for Terence Crawford to throw. Terence Crawford was waiting for him to throw. Both guys was just waiting to counter, and this lasted, man, the entire fight. Both guys was able to catch each other in spots. But I do think that Terence Crawford landed the more cleaner shots, the better shots. Although he wasted a lot of shots, it was kind of hard for him to land on Madrimov. But like I said, it was a great fight, man. Let me show you this here. This is the judges' scorecards, man. If you look at this, bro, the first two rounds, man, I don't know how you can give anybody those first two rounds, because the first two rounds was hard as hell to judge. You know what I'm saying? It was hard as hell to judge. But there you go. You have a chance to look at it, and it looked like they all was just giving that shit to the champion, right? Israil Madrimov. But as you can see, Terence Crawford won the last few rounds, which allowed him to edge it. But they had them both tied in the 10th round. And Terence Crawford was down the round prior, but tied it up in the 10th round and able to edge the fight by coming back and winning the last two rounds. If it wasn't for that shit, man, it was going to be some pressure. But, it was a hell of a fight, though, man. It was a toe-to-toe fight. Both guys, man, showed a lot of poise, a lot of patience. They didn't just go in there and wild out, you know what I'm saying? They both, I'm going to say, respected each other's power, and they both didn't fall for the okie doke, bro. It was a hell of a fight. They, regardless of what each other say, they both respect each other's power. They didn't just go in there wilding out. But Madrimov was a very tough, durable guy. And he was throwing some wild haymakers. He just didn't throw a lot like expected. But I saw what Terence Crawford caught him on a couple of them. But he was a tough cookie, man. He didn't go down. But he was, like I said, it was a great fight. Eddie Hearn said at the end of the fight that Madrimov was robbed. He was a champion, and Terence Crawford didn't beat the champion. That's some bullshit. Terence Crawford did enough to win this particular fight. I don't think anyone will go against that except for Eddie Hearn, who is the promoter of Israil Madrimov. So he's supposed to say that. Outside of that, I think that Terence Crawford did do enough. Terence Crawford was landing the cleaner shots, and he came in the championship rounds and showed why he was pound for pound king. And he particularly, like I said, he controlled the fight. And if I'm not mistaken, according to the scorecards, he won the last two rounds by all three of the judges, which is, of course, capitalized and helped him to win the fight. Great scorecard. Great fight. It was close, bro. This particular fight was a 7-5, 7-5 by two of the judges and an 8-4 by one of the judges. I had it, my scorecard, I had it 8-4, I had it 8-4. So the 8-4 scorecard is more like mine, Terence Crawford. Um, like I said, Terence Crawford just took his time in there and didn't just go in there wilding out, bro. So great fight, all in all, great undercard. Um, the only, the only, the only thing I had to say about the entire scorecard, the entire, want to say shout out to Steven Nelson, who was on untelevised part of the scorecard. He did stop his opponent. That was cool. It was good to see him. Being 36 years old, I would love to see him fight a bigger contender, man. He's up there at age. And I want to see him hurry and get that fight before it's too late for him. So hopefully, 40 years out, Stephen Stone Cold Nelson can get a big fight, man. I want to see him get something that's worthy of an opponent that has a belt or places him in the position to where he can fight for a belt. That's what I want to see for him, man. But this Rider season stuff did put him in the spotlight, even though he wasn't televised. That's me. Amen. I want these guys to get these opportunities. These opportunities is is what's needed. But like I said, in this super welterweight division, 154 pounds, Israil Madrimov is still there, bro. And he's gonna be a hell of a contender for the rest. Like Fedora, Errol Spence, um, even Jermell that's still there. I mean, shit. This dude's the real deal. So don't think y'all gonna just run up in there and run that division. That division right now is stacked. Great opponents. So I want to see what it's made of. I'm here. I think Virgil Ortiz is there too. Shit, man, it's gonna be a hell of a division, hell of some fights. As long as Turkish Ella Sheik is is there, they're gonna be some good fights. He gonna make you. He gonna make you fight. That's why you're gonna see a lot of these champions and a lot of these fighters lose their O's because he's gonna make sure you get tested. You're gonna get tested, bro. People don't these fighters were able to hold on to their O's because they wasn't being tested. With Turkey Alex Sheik and Ryder season, you're gonna get tested. If you're really good, you're gonna have to show us. You're gonna have to show us. Straight up. Um, the biggest question last night was, do we think Terence Crawford is ready for a fight like a Canelo Alvarez, going up another 2 weight class? I would say Terence Crawford should go ahead, beat up on Virgil Ortiz, and then go to Terence Crawford, and then go to the Canelo Alvarez. I still think he could beat up Canelo Alvarez. Let me see one more fight in the super welterweight division, maybe beat up a Virgil Ortiz, and then we can go from there. He could do it. I got faith in Bud, man. Bud he's a hell of a fighter, and I think he could do it. Period. I think he can do it. If anybody can do it, he can. If anybody can do it, he can. At the end of the day, I just think that some great fighting going on, and we as fans got every bit of it, bro. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Last night was a great night of boxing. No complaints. No complaints. If somebody complain, that means they just don't like boxing. Somebody complain, then they just don't like boxing. Period. So, but other than that, man, Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get on off of here. Boxing tonight don't owe me nothing. It don't owe me nothing, man. I think we had a great night, man. You know, by the time the fight was over, bro, it was 2 a.m. over here where I'm at. 2 a.m. Man, Lord of mercy. And, you know, there's no way I was going to stay up and do a post-fight. No way. That's why I'm doing it right now. With that being said, y'all already know what this is. Y'all already know what this is. And I'm out here being boxing news, man. I'm going to let y'all get out of here with my favorite little tank outro. Bam. Peace, and we out of here.